Welcome to the Hunter Physio podcast and its very first episode. I'm Peter Hunter, physiotherapist and personal trainer, and today I'm joined by Andy Samson, my friend and colleague in Rørt, to talk about triathlons. And a note, if you aren't into triathlons, we introduce what it is, and we talk about what we like and don't like about them. Also, even if you aren't really into triathlons, I hope you'll enjoy the parts somewhere in the middle where we share some key emotional moments for us in races and talk about the mental challenges and effects of any kind of endurance practice. Basically, you'll hear two passionate amateurs exploring triathlons from many different angles, and hopefully you'll pick up both inspiration and practical insights along the way. I came away from our conversation super energized and more motivated to complete my first Ironman in 2 weeks. My hope is that this episode also inspires you to take action on your own kind of challenge. It doesn't matter how long, it might be a swim, a bike, a run, or even combining those for a triathlon of any length. The key is simply to get started without overcomplicating things. If you do get stuck or want help with an injury, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and it would mean a lot to both me and Andy to hear what you make of this episode. And please share it with someone who might enjoy it. This episode was recorded outdoors on August 20th, 2025. Let's dive in.
Yeah, I have a history of running some triathlons. I think, Andy, you have a longer history than me. You are Saunagus champ in Rørt. I guess what I would call with love a triathlon amateur. An amateur, I define it as somebody who loves what they do, or that's what the word means, right?
Yes.
Ama.
Yeah.
And I'm like really an amateur who loves it also. And then you're the man in the Rørt team who has probably the best accent, hands down.
Nice.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship to triathlon. Maybe like how'd you get into it?
Yes, so it was a kind of strange intro to triathlon. Actually, I kind of came to it a little bit later in life, as they say. Like, I was never particularly sporty growing up, and it was Corona lockdown.
I wouldn't have guessed that, but yeah.
Yeah, no, just never really. I mean, I swam a little bit, like high school and stuff like that, but otherwise never really any kind of competitive sport. And it was the Corona lockdown, the pandemic, basically.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that. Okay, I see the pandemic. How the hell did that get you into triathlon?
So basically it was just, doom scrolling on YouTube and came across, I don't know if you know.
Plus having a lot of time to take action.
Yes.
And being isolated.
Exactly, like kind of faced with, not being able to go home for, didn't know how long it was going to be, it could have been for a long period of time, and, I wasn't at work, so I had a lot of free time on my hands, and yeah, I was basically just looking for something. Came across some videos from Yes Theory, this group in America that's all about challenging, to get out of your comfort zone and try new things. And
I heard of them.
Yeah,
I haven't studied their stuff, but
it's good stuff. At least for me, it really resonated with me when I was there at the time. And they had a video basically where they had trained and like kind of followed their training for an Ironman.
So your first triathlon, if we zoom in on that was
yes.
wearing a mask, I'm now guessing, or...
I mean, no, actually it was 2001 it was, so it was after everything got back to normal.
Okay, it was outside.
Yeah, it was outside, for sure.
Great.
Yeah, the idea had kind of been planted from that video, and then I basically just couldn't get it out of my mind. It just kind of was there for a couple of years, and I was like, okay, now is the time to try. Things were opening back up again. It's also one of those sports that you can, you spend a lot of time outside. You actually don't need to be, in a gym or, with lots of other people even. It's quite a solitary sport, you can, be, little distance considerations to worry about. So,
yeah.
It just basically started from nothing, really. I didn't really run other than just, the occasional 5 kilometers with my work, and didn't really bike other than just back and forward to work, so I had to buy a bike and buy a tri-suit and good running shoes, and just signed up and tried to make it.
And so I'm assuming your first triathlon, like there's different distances. Before we start recording, you were telling me like what the Olympic distance is and what the this and that is. So maybe tell us the distances that are relevant in Ironman and what they're called, or in triathlon. I just said Ironman.
Yeah.
But and also which distances you have tried.
Yeah.
So
I kind of jumped right in at the deep end a little bit and signed up just for like the Ironman triathlon. So I haven't.
That was your first.
Yes, haven't done any Olympic or sprint distance triathlons, which is usually the normal way to get into triathlon.
Okay, but you did this year do 73.
The 70.3, yeah, which is the half distance Ironman.
Okay, so you've done half and full Ironman. But
yeah, so now 5 halves I've done in total.
Okay.
And 1 full distance one. Yeah. So that first year I signed up for the half distance one, which is 1.8 kilometers swim, 90 kilometer on the bike, and then the 21 kilometer run, the half marathon.
And why is it called 73? That?
Cause I think that's what it equals in miles. The 70.3 miles is the total distance that you cover from start to finish.
Okay.
Across the 3 modalities.
Yeah, I actually saw a guy this Sunday during the Copenhagen Ironman event who had the Ironman logo tattooed, like many of them do.
Yes, there are so many people.
And there was 73 inside his tattoo, and I was like, okay, you really like that distance, my friend. But okay, cool. Yeah.
I also, for the longest time, was like, when I do this race, I'm going to get that tattoo, and then I just met so many people that have that tattoo there, man. I was like, okay, I can't get it
joining
anymore.
the army.
No,
that's funny.
Not anymore.
This is a bit of an aside, but Ironman does have a really strong brand. I was reading some kind of marketing or business case about it at some point that it's just when you get people tattooing yourself for it. Yeah. And it's a whole thing, so that's pretty cool of them, whoever they are. I don't know anything about the organization.
Yeah.
But okay, so you just told us what the half Ironman is.
Yes.
So tell us what the full Ironman is.
So the full is literally just double those distances. So it's 3.8 kilometers swim. The swim is almost always open water swim. So for example, in Denmark, it's an Amundstrand. There's seaweed, jellyfish for sure. You got to contend with
the jellyfish.
Oh my, yes. 180 kilometers on the bike.
Yeah, that's something.
Yeah, and then 42.5 kilometers, so a full marathon,
which is a marathon. Yeah. So the 73 is a half marathon, and Ironman is a full marathon in the end.
Yeah.
And my first, I'll share. My first triathlon was in 2010. I was living in Los Angeles. For 4 months only, so
nice.
Not a lot, but I did a triathlon, and it was maybe that's what's called a sprint, I don't know, but it was 200 meter swim, 18 kilometer bike, and a 5K run. So that was pretty quickly over, an hour or 2 or 3 hours or something. Then the Olympic distance is some sort of thing between those two, between the sprint and the half.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe we don't have to cover it. Yeah. Maybe the listeners are already bored by all these numbers. But so you've done 5 half, you've done 1 full distance Ironman triathlon.
Yes.
The bike, the run, the swim. The swim, the bike, the run.
The run. Yeah.
You can tell I've only done 2 triathlons in my life.
Yeah. Always that order.
Yeah. Actually, perhaps the other one I did, which was sort of a special one, or it wasn't special, but it was a little bit longer. That was a 700 meter swim, 30k mountain bike, and then a 10k run on Møns Klint, which, if anybody knows Møns Klint, it's a really steep place, and there's this epic staircase with 450 steps. So the run, you had to go up that thing twice, including finishing the race with that. So you walked basically over the finish line with your heart rate just through the roof. So that was a really fun event.
That's hard.
That was 6 years ago, 2019, on Møn. And those are my 2 triathlon experiences. And we'll get into my next project, which is to try and run a full marathon. A full triathlon, a full Ironman. Mixing up all the words here, but first let's just get some rules clear, how an event looks like. So let's imagine somebody wants to do it. So what do they need to be aware of as they do the race? Not all the small details, but more how the race feels in a way.
Yeah. So it's usually a pretty early start on race day. Usually around 7 o'clock is like the official start time of all the triathlons that I've done. They've all been in Copenhagen or Denmark.
Okay.
So yeah, you need to be prepared a little bit for the route, the swim route. It's quite technical often. There's a lot of like turns, and they have different buoys in the water. So ones that you can only turn left on, ones that you can only turn right. So kind of familiarising yourself with the route, like kind of go through in my mind, visualise the route a little bit, just so I'm a little bit more familiar with it before starting, and then basically go as fast as you can a little bit.
Oh, really? Well, that's more like a strategy thing. But then we talk about the rules. So it's not a group event. You do it alone, right?
Yeah. Okay. So there's
and Andy's out there. Go alone.
Yeah. Basically, depending on where the actual race is, sometimes it's like a run start. So you'll be on like the beach, then you'll have to run into the water, and then you just
fun.
Kind of find your space, or the half distance up in Helsinge. They have this kind of timing system, so every kind of 3 seconds, 5 people go in the water, and it's staggered a little bit because it's in the harbour.
That's nice.
But it is individual. You can swim by yourself. You can make forward progress with any stroke. Usually people do the front crawl, the freestyle stroke, but you can breaststroke or backstroke. If you need to
swim how you want.
Yeah, swim how you want. There's a lot of kayaks.
And no flippers. No
flippers.
Paddles.
No. There is rules around the wetsuit, how thick it is and the temperature of the water. But if you're in Denmark, then it's always like a wetsuit race. You have to be in a wetsuit.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a full one. It can be, just on the shoulders, like covering. You don't need the arms or anything, but you do need.
I was out swimming for 20 minutes in the weekend, and I got so cold. Even though the temperature right now in late summer Denmark is great, the water was great, but I actually, only being in the water, not a cooling effect from the wind, but I got massively chilled. Like, not the worst I've tried for sure, but I was just like shivering, and and I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna do this in a wetsuit.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best way to do it. And quite often you'll wear your tri-suit under that wetsuit as well, just to make it a bit easier on the transition. I made the mistake in my first triathlon not wearing anything under my wetsuit, and then had a time penalty for nudity in the first transition.
Okay,
so I learned my lesson the hard way. Have your tri-suit.
I also had the worst transition, or I didn't even. I wasn't that ambitious, but my transitions were laughable. Like I had, some of the people I had overtaken on the swim. I was in the transition area for like probably 8 or 10 minutes, just chilling and eating a snack, and wow, it was like, Now I found out that if you wear the tri-suit under, and you're just gonna in that first transition strip your wetsuit off, and then basically jump on your bike, like wear a helmet, But
exactly,
that's gonna be different next time, I think.
Save a lot of time there.
And I think to make the Ironman and not get this is a rule that I know. That's what I've been focusing a lot on. For me to make it, I have to be under the time cut, of total of 16 hours. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but swimming has to be under 2 hours.
Yes.
I don't know the transition max, but then biking has to be, I actually don't know that, 9 hours maybe? 10 hours? And then the marathon is max 6 hours or so in total. And so if I'm under those, then I can call myself an Ironman.
Yes.
But the way I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do an Iron. I couldn't get tickets for this Sunday, so this summer I want to do it. I'm gonna do it in 2 weeks with my sister. Is the plan, alone. But I still feel like my watch telling me when I started the swim, when I started the bike, and so on, and when I did the run. Those 3 together, I don't know. For me, it's going to be enough to call myself an Ironman, but maybe not doing a real event. Some will be.
I mean, a lot of watches have like a triathlon function.
I've borrowed a watch.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if I could borrow your bike. Actually, that's a big thing.
Of course.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Actually, but the reason I have a but is because then I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to do it on my own bike. But I have a gravel bike. It's titanium frame. It's really great, but the tires are a bit fat, So like that would slow me down. Pump them up hard, but
and I guess you'll have like a route kind of in mind.
I've got a route. Okay. So anyway, rules. We can move on to what I want to do.
Yeah.
The route I've planned,
Uh-huh.
I think it's pretty epic. From a bathing spot I love in Nordhavn, it's gonna be swimming up to Helsingør Havn and back,
Okay.
and that's like perfect. That's like a little bit under 3.9.
Okay.
And then I can just, do some extra. There's a one way you can go through a little bit of a harbor area by waterfront. Then it's going to be perfect. Then from there, I'm going to bike around the coast to Helsingør, and then to Hundested, and back to Helsingør. That's 175k,
Okay.
so it's almost perfect. But
Yeah.
then the extra 5k I'll have to find somewhere,
Yeah.
probably from getting lost or something.
Yep.
And then changing at the Helsingør station, my plan is to run all the way home.
Yep.
And I live on Nørrebro, and I did this on Google Maps. You can calculate distances in this funky way, and it was perfect. It was just a little bit
Awesome.
more than a marathon
Yeah.
from Helsingør, and that's a run I've done before.
That sounds really cool.
So,
Wow. Okay.
So that's the route that I've planned.
Yeah.
And so, let me just tell you about why I want to do it. So I've run 3 marathons before, all barefoot. So that's just weird. But no shoes, no barefoot shoes, barefoot. One, let me check my runs here, but like the first 2 were in 2014. One was Copenhagen Marathon, another was in Jutland in Rebild Bakker, which was just insanely beautiful. I want to go back. And then the last one was in 2022 with my friend Mads Ramsing. Shout out to Mads. But we ran from Helsingør to Copenhagen. It was we got 44 on our watches, and that was just an epic run. Great to be true. But that year I was sort of like, do I have it in me to do a marathon? It sort of felt like, because some people get impressed when I tell them about those marathons, and then in my mind I'm like, 2014, like what am I talking about here? 5, almost 10 years later. Actually, 8 years later, and I was like, I want to do it again and see if I still got it. And so that was fun. Took 7 hours though, so that's insanely slow. But we took breaks. Breaks.
Yeah. And I mean, also you're coming down like Strandvej, right? That's the
basically
So
all the way.
Quite hilly as well for a run.
It was a bit up and down.
Yeah.
But definitely some flat. It's pretty close to the water, but there is a bit up and down, especially in the end.
Yes.
But and now we're in 25, obviously, and for me, I mean, I promised. Here's another shout out, but shout out to my jiu-jitsu teacher who last year helped me with something, and then he said, the deal is, if I help you like this, then you have to do a barefoot marathon running on glass.
Oh
my
God!
He's hardcore. Then I said, can I just run a barefoot marathon not on glass? And then he was like, cool. And then I didn't do it last year. I didn't do it, so I sort of owe a marathon anyway. But I feel like the next step is the Ironman. Could be something else, like I could try and do an ultra. Tobias Brask from Rørt also has recently done 100k, so that was also like sort of on my mind. He invited me, but I never really fully got into it. And I don't run enough. I'm more scared of a 100k or like a real ultra than I am of a triathlon. So here comes my sort of this is a good segue to my obnoxious reasons for doing a triathlon. So I have authentic reasons, mainly that it calls on me. The endurance running has always called on me. In school, I was like really motivated by the yearly school run in this way that sort of, you'd probably think that it was a bit too important. Like, what was the psychology of me just going ape shit and running a half iron? Running a half marathon or something, where everybody else was just running a few laps and chilling. Like I was just going for it, trying to win. There's this weird, it's sort of deep in me. I don't know what it is, but I feel free and happy when I'm out there on a mission in a way.
Yeah.
So the Ironman calls on me. It's something I want to do. And I've been discussing with my wife extensively if it's too much of an ego thing. So that's an interesting discussion right there. But I do really intend to definitely like stay safe, and I think I'm bigger than my ego. If I can't do the run in the end or something, I'm going to, just stop somewhere and take the train home. Like,
yeah, you want to push it, but not to the point of like a long injury. Some permanent damage kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. And I know my body pretty well. It's to sort of have a sense of that, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my hubris reasons for running a triathlon. A little bit obnoxious here, but it's first of all a fun thing I think is Ironman's hashtag is anything is possible.
Yes.
So then I'm gonna reply, well, yeah, it's also possible to run a freaking Ironman without training for it. Bit arrogantly. Should be possible if anything is possible.
Yeah.
And basically, I do train, I run basically.
Mm-hmm.
But there are different reasons why I think my training might be enough to pull me through an Ironman. Mm-hmm. I do jiu-jitsu, where you move your arms around a lot, so that's sort of like swimming.
Basically the same thing.
You're also constantly bent with your back forward. Your spine is flexed constantly in jiu-jitsu. So that reminds me also of the biking, just the endurance. And when I've biked far, it's actually my lower back that gets me more than anything else. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and I run regularly. I sort of got those marathons in me. As long as I keep it slow, it's pretty safe.
Yeah, for sure.
And then 3 or 4, that's just 3 fun facts. My mom can swim 3K in an hour. Nice. She's in her 60s.
Awesome.
In a pool.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, why shouldn't I be able to swim 4K in 2 hours? Mm-hmm. That's the time cut off. Mm-hmm. The second one, hope this is entertaining. I read that a Japanese man, an inspiring old man, is the oldest to run an Ironman. You want to guess how old he was?
Well, I mean, they have age groups, right, up to like 70...
70 plus, maybe?
70 plus, 70, 75, yeah.
He was 70 plus, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Do you want to
80?
dare a number? He was plus 80.
Plus 80?
How high are you going, Andy, on this guy?
82, I'm going to say.
Oh, perfect. It's 82.
It's actually okay.
Yeah, it's 82. Great.
Nice. Wow.
Seen scrolling on social media.
Oh,
so, again, check our sources, people listening to this. But, I saw a picture of this man, and he should be the oldest to ever have completed an Ironman. And he did fail. That's what the story was. He had failed. But he kept training, and then he made it. So
nice.
It wasn't in his first try, he just got it. Yeah. But he didn't have a history. I think also, talking more about this random guy that I don't know, but he didn't do triathlons before he was in his 60s. Okay. Basically like you, Andy.
Basically I feel like 60 inside. But it is an interesting thing about triathlon, actually. People do come to it later.
Yeah, I think in general also endurance events like the runners you see doing really hardcore things, they aren't like, I mean maybe some of them are young, but it feels like there's something sinewy about those old body or older bodies that are able to just continue in a way where, I don't know, like definitely young kids are doing amazing things too, for sure. Probably the best in the world are young, but or younger.
I don't know about that actually. I think at least these kind of hardcore like world champ triathlon stuff in Hawaii and Nice, they're in their 30s. The people that are winning these events, so they are a bit older. You think it's sports people are for sure.
That it's not the same age frame as gymnastics or other things,
for sure. Where you're already retired at that point. It's it's different.
The other thing about and just I'm 33 right now. Mm-hmm. So like, if an 82-year-old can a fit young man 33 not just kind of do it. Mm-hmm. Finally, also, this is just my longest bike ever so far. I did like a 80k drive, sort of on a crappy bike, so that was really hard. But otherwise, longest on my gravel bike was 125 going down to Møn.
Yep.
And I had a medium heavy backpack on my back there, also some gear pouches.
Wow. Okay.
But the backpack on my back, you want to put things on your bike, not on your back.
No,
but sure. I basically didn't have the gear, so that's my style. Just go for it. But that also gives me like a sense. It doesn't mean I've done 180 on a good bike and so on, but 125 with sort of not very good conditions, and I spend all day doing that, or 6-7 hours. Like I feel like, I could probably on a good bike do pretty well on the bike.
For sure.
part.
Yeah. You're setting yourself up for success
Yeah.
with that.
So those are my like 3 reasons why I'm telling myself, it might not be true, that I can do an Ironman without training.
Yeah.
And I am training, like I'm doing my, I'm actually going to show you my Strava now, so you can see my mileage.
Yes.
My mileage is doesn't really make sense with the biking, because I never bike. I just sometimes record my really short transits.
Yeah.
But let's see, here's my running the last month. So the longest I've run in a week is 30 something, 34,
35
a week.
Yeah.
And on Strava, I know that people get way more than 30k a week. Depends who you are, but insurance athletes, I think it's pretty low. I think, I don't know, my average will probably be something like 15-20k a week.
Something like that,
running.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a little bit more barefoot in the summer here, just to sort of make sure my feet are a little bit ready for it.
Conditioned.
A little bit conditioned, yeah.
Okay, I mean, that's a good level for sure. It's like baseline training.
Yeah, it's sort of not really performance training at all, but it is sort of like, I am running, like.
Yeah. and the goal is to complete it, right? You're not going for like a world best.
Exactly,
record,
yeah. And that's also, I'm not trying to beat any times, especially not going barefoot.
Yeah.
But it's sort of, that's also my own style. I think there's also some kind of aspect to it that's a bit, maybe that I'm afraid of competing. But because if I take off my shoes, I'm in a whole other category, and I kind of like that. Sort of like blue ocean, I'm alone here. You guys can do your thing with your shoes, but I'm sort of, you can't compare me, and then I get some sort of mental freedom in that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm like, it would be way more mentally challenging to actually go for competing
with other people at the same time,
and getting the best gear I could.
Yeah.
And then I'd also have to train. But then that's a thing about triathlon that I really don't like.
Yes.
Is the training.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's the most boring ass training regimen I could imagine, basically.
Yeah.
So much cardio and just every day and hours, like regular training sessions would be 2, 3, 4 hour sessions. Yeah. And people train daily, right? Things like that.
For sure.
So that's a time commitment I, as a dad, but even without being a dad, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, it is hard. It's certainly. So for me, when I was training for like the full distance, it was like 6 individual training sessions and then 1 like brick session. So that was like a bike, then a run immediately after it.
You call that a brick session?
Yeah, I don't know why it's called a brick session.
That's cool.
And that every week.
Sounds
and it's
cool.
just it's a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot more freedom in my life back then.
How many hours you would spend a week then? If you just...
I mean, so I kind of aim for like 2 swims of around an hour in length. There'd be 2 bikes, which would be of varying distances, so maybe 2-3 hours in total.
Yeah.
And then the runs could be like another couple of hours on top of there.
So that sounds like at least 10 hours a week.
Yeah, something around 10 to 12 hours.
And would you also go to the gym, do any stuff, or
not initially? But then I actually started to have like kind of issues like knees and that kind of stuff. So started to incorporate a little bit more like strength-based stuff, just like support my knees and joints a little bit more.
Right.
So there was like twice a week I would go and just do a little.
That is a lot. So anybody listening to that maybe you might be thinking like, okay, I'm never gonna do anything like that.
But it's also I wanted to be sure that I would be able to do it. I had never done any of the individual parts before. I'd never swam that distance or biked that distance or ran even a half marathon at that point. So
right, yeah. Wow, okay, yeah.
For me, it's basically like, okay, I'm going to do this and I want to do the full distance in 2 years' time. I'm just going to give myself 2 years to build up like base endurance and
I see.
Give myself the best possible kind of start.
That's cool, yeah. And I think to many people there's big mental barriers. I think for me that a strength that I have from childhood and also from I walked the Camino alone and did there was 2 days I just destroyed myself. Did 50 and almost 60k walks.
Wow.
Just a side note on that, I think it's funny. Like, I came to Bilbao in North Spain, and then because I hadn't really dared confront my dad, basically he had helped me get gear. So I was wearing this sort of blue shirt with 4 pockets on it, a long sleeve, smart for the sun. I was wearing these. The pants were horrible, like these adventure pants that you can zip by the knees. And I didn't feel at home in those clothes. I looked sort of like a young version of some, a crappy version of like a National Geographic guy walking around. And what happened the first day was some kids sat on the stairs, like some random street kids, just hanging out. They pointed at me and laughed as I walked by, and I was alone in a city, like without anybody, my family and so on. And the feeling, man, I had such a bad feeling, and felt alone and so on. Then the next day, I walked so far away from Bilbao. Yeah, that was probably the longest walk of my life ever. I just kept getting to some random spot that I could stop, and then I was like, it's only like 5K to the next one. Okay, it's only 10K to the next one. Still got some hours. Let's go. And I just kept going until I started. I actually started not because I was thinking about the boys laughing at me, but I started crying just sort of spontaneously as I was walking. Okay. It was sort of like the effect, the pain in the feet, and it sort of mentally built up the pressure. And that was something I had to go through alone. Yeah. But sort of to bring it back to something really common that I hear is people are like, I never ran further than like, what's the longest, like 10 or 14K, or and that barrier really means something to people. Yes. And I think from having obviously broken a couple of my own sort of barriers, then I'm not so scared of breaking the next one. But I think with both running, like I talked to somebody really athletic who was like, but the swim, 4K swimming, like, that's scary to people. Like, and I just want to highlight, if people are scared of any distance, it could be the sprint, the 200-meter swim, the 18-kilometer bike, and the 5K run. Like, if that's in any way scary, well, then that's where you would have some work to do, and do each of those distances alone, and then get into it.
Absolutely. And just talking on that, I will remember for the rest of my life, like that first triathlon race. And
was the first the best, or when?
It wasn't the best. No,
but
neither.
It was significant.
It was significant because it was, especially about halfway through the run, when I realised that I was actually going to make it. That this was,
you could feel it. You could taste it.
I was I literally just need to keep going, a couple more kilometers, and I'll finish. And honestly, I couldn't stop the tears. It's like
when you realised you would make it.
Yeah, just cool. That like, holy shit! I've actually, I committed to this goal. I like tried the best I could to like train for it. I'm doing it. I've been doing it for the last hours, and now I'm nearly there. It's like that realization was
cool. So you cried like for a couple
fucking baby. Amazing. Oh god, it was
Yeah, you only get that once, or maybe that hard once. Wow, that's cool. I have a similar one with Repil Baga, the sort of a trail marathon. I think it was. Well, it doesn't matter, but it was 800 height meters along with the marathon. But it was trails, it was beautiful. What happens is, because I'm barefoot, on the second, or I'm missing like 5-6K from finishing, alone in the woods, really alone. Like hadn't seen anybody for a while. Then somebody runs up behind me, and it turns out this guy's called a sweeper.
Okay.
You know what the sweeper is?
Okay. The guy that comes at the end to.
The sweeper is a runner who does the loop to make sure anybody who's for any reason stopped or haven't finished is caught, and he can orient. Safety guy. Yeah. So the safety guy, sweeper, he runs up behind me, and basically we finished the run together for 5K, and I was sort of telling him, gritting my teeth, like my hamstrings are about to cramp. And they really were. And the guy replied really dryly in Jutland Danish, det skal gøre lidt ondt før det er sjovt. He said it has to hurt a little bit, otherwise it's not fun, huh?
Yes.
And he sort of just said that, and we just kept running. And I was like, because he was there, I was like, I think I stopped once with him, but the hamstrings, man, I just wanted to stop so bad. Yeah. But with him, I sort of white-knuckled it a little bit.
Yeah.
But then when we finally made it through and this guy was a bit gone, I think I had to wait till he was gone for some reason. And then a couple people were left, only organizers, no people, no participants were there on the field. And then these 3 women, or I don't know, 3 people were like clapping at me when I came in. And that sort of empty or small clap for me, like that's when I just started crying as I walked over that finish line, just basically alone with these 3 people who were also supporting me. Oh man, that was emotional.
Yeah, it's an emotional thing, you know, crossing the finish line and going through that whole experience, because a lot of it's mental, actually. I heard this thing, you know, Rich Roll.
I used to listen to him, and I know he's like a vegan, or I don't know if he's vegan, but
I actually think he is.
And he's an also really famous podcast, like one of the best, but he's a triathlon uber nerd, right?
And his story is like super fascinating. Like he started, you know, morbidly obese, you know,
he did?
addictions, you know, really hit rock bottom, and then kind of found his way to triathlon and endurance sport. Anyway, he has this thing that's like the mind will always give up before the body does. Like, you have so much capacity in yourself if you just push through it a little bit. And I try to take that a little bit on as well. It's like, you know, I actually just trust that the body can do it if you can just get in the mindset. It's like change your perspective a little bit, you know.
It's interesting because I think that's really true. And at the same time, it's also very common that you'll injure yourself because of sort of ego. Because you can sort of injure yourself because you're not listening, basically.
Yeah.
So what's the balance between staying sensitive to your body, but at the same time finding that like limitless...
Or know when to push and when not to...
but the mind, for sure, and if you give up mentally, I think, you know, you're gonna get
lost.
It's such a drag, then your body will be so heavy. I think it's also with endurance, like, it's low intensity, but then the pressure starts building. Small discomforts slowly building, whatever distance, right? But it happens.
Absolutely.
And then it's sort of like the game of how you're relating to the suffering. I feel like that's really the title of the whole process. Also why it might be emotional when you finish, you know, because so much pressure is released.
It's built up.
But it's interesting how the pressure, in your case, in that first run, was released before the finish line.
Exactly.
Because you just knew in your mind.
And I was trying to tell myself, you know, it's like, you've not finished yet, you know, save the tears for the finish line, you know. I still had like 7 kilometers to go or something. It was like, you know.
Chill.
Chill out.
Chill.
Don't dehydrate yourself and then, you know, start cramping.
But you trusted your body or mind enough that you were like, oh man,
gonna make it.
Let's do it. Or a tangent here, but in certain runs that I've done, including recently where I sort of go off trail, there's a bit of aspect of navigation, and I have to be back at a certain time. I've had 2 or 3 of these a little bit epic sort of runs where I had to be on time and I didn't know the route, and that combination was very stressful, very stressful, because when you know the route, you know, like you're studying the route, you know, you study it so that when you're in the process you can just like basically try and relax.
Exactly. Get into these kind of flow states where it's actually quite meditative just to keep going.
Exactly.
Turn the mind off a little bit.
And the sort of stress that I felt when I didn't know the route and was basically, it's sort of unrelated to triathlon, because you should know where you're going in a triathlon, right? But still, the stress of not knowing if I could make it, and the key word here is desperation. There comes this desperation that I tasted this summer when I ran around in Italy. I've tasted it in Greece also with these. I run like in the valleys, in the in mountains, and have to make it back to basically the safe camping site where my wife is waiting. Like anyway, that desperation is really interesting because when you realize or when you know that you can do it, the desperation is released, and it's such a high. You know, that the desperate, like in Greece it was like this. I literally ran down basically into the last bus that was going, and then I got that bus. Like, that was really epic. I had taken a taxi, or I don't know what I'd done, but it was like the last bus, and the sense in that bus was just like so epic. That was one example.
I love that.
But even in a race where you know the route and you're putting that pressure is rising, I feel like desperation is a really good word for it. The feeling that you're trying to avoid, but it's sort of growing.
For sure.
and that's sort of where you can be a little bit of a hero by stepping up to that or continuing.
Yeah.
Despite, what's that? There's a definition of endurance. Let's see if I can get it.
Okay.
It's like continuing despite the mounting urge to stop.
Yes.
There's something like that.
Yeah.
And that's endurance. That's a definition.
Okay.
And I think when you just hear that definition, that's almost like people have such relationships to like swim, bike, run, hate or love it kind of thing. So, like, I find even if you hate whatever, when I hear that definition, that's inspiring. That's like, oh man, that's bringing it, to something that against the mounting urge to stop.
Yeah.
It's actually a way of highlighting how you said it's all in the mind.
Definitely, and there's so many points where you're kind of challenged with it a little bit. You're swimming and maybe your shoulders are super tired. It's like, I can just give up now. Maybe I just swim to the side, or you're on the bike and you got like 100 kilometers to go still. It's like, what if I just fell over a little bit? I'm out of the race, or the chain comes off. Then I can just pull over and it'd be done. I could go home and it could be comfortable.
Yeah, and how hungry are you?
Exactly, and cold, if it's raining, or there's wind, it's like, it'd be so easy just to give up right now. But getting past that, and it's really rewarding, for sure. All these little like hiccups that come up throughout the race.
I can really relate to that also recently with some martial arts like jiu-jitsu, and in a competition there's this it's sort of like a micro, because it's only 5 minutes, but in that 5 minutes it comes on fast when somebody does something very dominating towards you. That thought of like, I could just give him this. I could just let it happen now that I lose. But that comes on really fast, where it's like endurance events. I feel like it's sort of a recurring. Well, I've had runs where it never occurred to me, or when I didn't know the route. I literally have to get out of this.
Yes. Yeah.
But in endurance events, it can be for some, I think, a high frequency, like, can I give up? Can I give up? Can I give up? And obviously it's nice to be in that meditative state, to not have that battle, and not continue choosing again and again to continue.
Exactly,
But just sort of be in it.
And that's where like the community within triathlon kind of helps a little bit, because
let's talk about community of triathlon.
Yeah, because like honestly, every kind of person is on the start line of a triathlon, like these Ironman events.
Oh, really?
Like,
I was gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push back on that in a moment.
Okay, all right.
But tell me.
I mean,
every kind of person.
Tall, small, big. Old, young, like
men and women.
Men and women. Yeah, it's you can meet everybody out there.
Okay, cool.
And it's so inspiring where, you're having this moment to yourself like, oh God, this is so hard. I'm cold and tired and I just want to give up. And then, an 82-year-old man, is you pass them on there. And it's like, you know what? This is the point. We're doing something difficult, but it's rewarding. And
the camaraderie of like, we've all done this now. Wow.
Yeah.
And like cheering each other and so on.
You mentioned it earlier, where you were kind of crisscrossing with the same guy on your.
An obstacle race.
Yeah,
that guy. Yeah, so the story was I had a 6-kilometer obstacle course race on Ama Beach. It was really fun. So one guy, a little bit smaller than me, but every time there was an obstacle, I overtook him. And then during the next running phase, he would overtake me. And that happened like 5 times at least before the last part of the run. This was like at the very last part, so it was kind of epic. But then the last part had a bit of a longer run, so he just took it. And I came up to him and like, good run, and he gave me a high five. It was sort of like I felt together with him, and not like no animosity there.
Exactly, and that happens a lot in the bike. Like quite often you see the same people like crisscrossing each other.
Oh really? Yeah.
So you'll follow the same person for 179 kilometers. And, every time it's a hill, they'll overtake, and all the downs. Or if somebody stops at an aid station, you pass them, they come and they take over you, and you build up a little. It's like, I know this guy.
So, also friendly competition, right? I remember doing a trail run probably last fall, and I was going into it like, I'm not gonna compete with anybody. I'm here to do my own thing.
Yeah.
But then after the runners had spread out, then immediately I started having internal competition with the people right in front of me. So, you know, like a woman in her 50s or so on, I was like, I'm going to eat you. I'm gonna, and slowly coming up, like, I'm gonna. And then as soon as I had passed her, then I started playing the same game with the next person. And it was sort of like, can I just stop this competing thing? I'm just running my own thing. But I couldn't help but link my running to the people around me a little bit. But it was super friendly. Like, I love those people, especially after the run. But while I'm running, I'm really trying to beat them. Even despite my sort of maybe just idealized idea that I'm trying only to compete with myself. Yeah, sort of a cliche. But
that's also the mindset I try to have as well. Like, not getting too hung up on the competition, and even actually not even trying to achieve a specific time, but just, you know, doing the best that I can at a pace that I know is sustainable to get me through it, kind of thing. And
I think I'm also going to play it very safe, and I'm going to play the edge, obviously, like I can't help it, but I think there's this sense of except for the swim, maybe, because my plan there is to relax my legs completely and just destroy my shoulders with a crawl for 2 hours. Absolutely. My goal is probably 1.5 hours or so, but yeah, that'll be fun. But then on the bike, that'll be interesting. Trying to spare my legs for the run, you know, but still sort of pushing it. But I'll try and keep it slow as smooth as fast, you know, just sort of consistent. And I think I'll win a lot if I keep the transition times pretty low, so I can just sort of suffer while I'm biking or something, but not waste too much time just standing still.
Don't lose the momentum. Just keep the energy up.
Yeah, I was thinking, I know of one from Rørt has recently moved to Hundested, so I was thinking of visiting her, but now I'm like, it's going to be impolite to quote-unquote visit her when my only goal is to use her toilet. Drink the water, fill my water, and then just go. Can you clap at me too? Bye-bye. That doesn't count as a visit, but so I'll probably have to owe her a real visit too, in Hundested.
Actually, I didn't even consider that when you're doing these routes that you've made yourself, like bathroom facilities along the way is.
How do you actually do that? How do you take a shit on the Ironman?
They have these. Every aid station has these kind of porta potty things. So
and have you had to go? Excuse me asking, but like, do you do those like 12-hour? Or did you've done one, right?
One full distance, yeah.
So did you take a shit or?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm quite a big sweater. Like when I'm running and when it's hot, so I had these like salt tablets to take with me for the run, just to kind of keep the electrolytes up. But then at some point it just really started to upset my stomach, so I had to go to the bathroom for sure.
The salt.
Yes, there was the
electrolyte, man.
Yeah, especially because, you know, if you're just taking like little cups of water, you know, it's a super hot day and you're running 42 kilometers, I've had it before where you just get loads of cramps in your legs and start seasoning up.
So you gotta run. You gotta drink.
Yeah, you gotta drink. And depending on like the electrolyte brand that they have in these aid stations, like some I can tolerate, some that I can't. I think people are quite different.
But so you would stop on the bike?
I actually never stopped on the bike.
You just go on the bike?
Just went continuously. It was on the run.
Because you're saying aid stations, but you mainly stopped at the transitions then, or what?
No, along the bike route and along the run route, there's aid stations all the way.
Yeah. And there you can get electrolytes if you need. I see. Yeah, because it seems a bit little to have like 2 or 3 bottles for like 180 kilometer bike. Yeah. So I'll have to refill for sure.
Definitely. And with the full distance, halfway through the bike, you have like a second transition bag, like a halfway bag, where you can change everything. Get 4 new bottles, new gels.
Okay, cool.
All that kind of stuff.
Well, that'll be my Hundested. And Bass, are you up for that? Or talking about nutrition, like, is there anything I should think about going into the Ironman with nutrition? And people listening, if they want to do an event where they're going to be active for 1, 2, or 3 hours in a row?
Yeah. So
Do you know any good advice? I'll say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
My sister told me like you should practice eating gels because your stomach
100%.
might not like it.
Exactly.
And I haven't done that at all.
Yeah.
Until now. So
Definitely.
But thank you, sister, for the
That's
tip.
extremely good advice.
You think
for
so?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. What other advice do you have for the nutrition side?
So I kind of aim for around like 80 to 90 grams of carbs every hour, and I heard that's kind of what you need to sustain output over a long period of time.
80 to 90 grams.
Yeah.
And is it anything by how many kilos or how much you weigh?
It is, yeah. Body weight dependent. I can give you the...
I could look that up.
The
But we're sort of same size, but okay, yeah, 80, 90 grams. And you spread that out. I assume you don't eat once an hour. I've heard it's more often.
Yeah, a lot more often. So on the bike, I would have 2 like energy drinks. So it's basically these carby drinks.
Yeah.
And then have a whole bunch of gels in my tri suit. And yeah, I tried a whole bunch of gels in the training. There's some that I can tolerate, some that I can't. So the ones that kind of gave me the most feeling of energy is these kind of blended gels. So it's like a mixture of fructose and maltodextrin, I think it's called.
Okay.
That was the best for me. These
Cool.
kind. And
Yeah,
then,
the variety.
yeah. And then basically every 50 minutes I'm taking a drink of the energy drink, and then on every 30 minutes I take a gel.
Wait, say that again?
So every 15, so 4 times an hour, I'll take 2-3 mouthfuls
Of water?
of my energy drink, my carb drink, and then every 30 minutes a gel.
Okay.
And every gel has
And how about
40.
just regular water? No regular water?
No, none.
Okay, so you use the fluid to sort of get
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Until
okay.
yeah.
And the only brand I know is like High Five Energy.
Yeah.
I've tried those in 2014
Yeah.
because I crashed. Actually, another funny story. That first marathon, again, these weird self-imposed limits that I put on myself, but to make it more fun. I don't know. I definitely suffered more. But I fasted in the morning of the marathon, so I didn't. I just woke up, went out there, and started going, and I basically just drank water, maybe a bit of electrolytes, but the whole run. And then at kilometer 30, it hit hard. And my friend from Gerlev Idrætshøjskole, Nicoline, I'd met her halfway through the race, and we were running together. And the sweetheart even ran with me the last 10K after I hit the wall and had to stop numerous times to basically fold forward because my hamstrings were cramping. That's what I'm going to be worried about too with this Ironman, is just hamstring cramps.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main limitation of my low volume running, is my hamstrings maybe don't have the endurance. But anyway, she gave me her gels, and that's
Nice.
the first, not the last time I've eaten those gels, but it's very few times during the last years that I've even tried them. But I have 10 of them lying in my Ironman bag at home.
Okay. I could have a whole bunch in my apartment you're welcome to have as well.
I need an electrolyte mix as well to put into my water then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially because these High Five gels, I think they're only 20 grams or something. So you get ones that are 40. They're just more concentrated.
Okay.
So you need to take them less often.
And you would go for that?
I go for them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's easier to carry 5 gels than 10 gels in your pocket. So
Yeah, all the sort of weird
exactly. It just
getting
is.
things out of pockets and
this-
so on while you're running or while you're doing stuff. Okay, well that's a good kid. So those were some frequency things.
Yeah.
And big breakfast. I usually eat a huge bowl of oatmeal in the morning.
Okay, oats fine, plain, bland food. I usually actually, so 3 days before it starts already,
Just carb loading.
loading, try to get as much glycogen into the muscles. And,
rice and pasta.
Yeah, all the time.
I read an article with a guy just recommending stuff, for Ironman newbies like me.
Yeah.
And he said he wrote multiple times about carb loading, and his favorite example was white bread with Nutella. And I was like, oh, nasty. I mean, it's not to say it's nasty, but for me, that's nasty. I can't eat or that's so sugary, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I loved how this guy, who's just super experienced, was like, okay, let's go with that. I know some really high, or not high level, but they've run ultras, these 2 guys.
Yeah.
But they swear by Haibo slick. They just eat candy.
Wow.
And I think it's I think there's some sort of a little bit of feeling of superiority just eating candy, or I don't know. They have this. No, they're really like down to earth guys.
Yeah,
but they just eat candy, no energy. Energy things from them. They just eat the Haribo bag.
Whole packs of Haribo.
And I think I'm gonna bring one of those also for variety.
Yeah.
But I'm not that big of a sugar. I love cake and whatever marmalade and things. But if it's too sugary, I actually don't like it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we'll see. I'll make it with the carb loading. But I'm imagining huge breakfast as always.
Okay.
Maybe actually not too big.
No,
for the swim.
it's actually more a problem if it's a big breakfast on the race day.
Yeah.
Usually just like some plain...
Small and consistent food then.
Yeah.
I'll have to skip my oatmeals then.
Yeah, I mean,
Or
I usually just have like
portion.
toast, like 2 bits of toast.
Okay.
Just really light. Because I mean, the energy
And
that
fruit,
you're
how
using...
about fruit, like apple or banana? Or?
Banana, I would take.
Okay.
But still, give yourself a couple of hours to kind of digest it a bit and, let it sit in the body a little while. Don't want to dive right into the water after just eating. And then especially on the bike, it's nice to not be full.
Yeah, I see. So I maybe have a last question, just regarding if I do the Ironman.
When you do the Ironman.
When I do the Ironman on next Wednesday or so, just so that I don't fuck it up, and people will say that doesn't count at all. Like, assuming I do the distances, right? For example, one case in point, and maybe you'll think of other things that could make it sort of less worthy then, but one thing you told me was you can't listen to audio on the tour.
Yeah,
so,
at any point.
So no electronics except for your watch.
Yeah.
And then my sister, she's not going to pace me, well, maybe she is, but I don't know, but I wanted to do it social. So, like last time I ran, a marathon, it was with a guy. And the first time was with Nicoline. And the second one was with the sweeper. No, always social.
Yeah.
But anyway, the running part, I think my sister will join me for half marathon.
Nice.
Wait at a station and then continue with me. She was initially suggesting I can drive the Volvo with you on the bike and carry the food and give you food. And then I was like, wait. It might what's allowed?
Yeah. So that for that example across the line there, it has to be completely self-supported. So anything that you're going to eat, you have to carry it yourself. People can't pass you things
on the way. Yeah, you have to carry it.
Yeah.
But there's these check-up points.
There is aid stations, where you can get water.
So you said halfway through the bike?
So actually, no, I mean the big one where you can refuel all of your bottles is halfway through the bike. You actually get it every 20, 30 kilometers. There's an aid station.
There's something where you could refill.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's it would be fair to stop somewhere, ask for water, buy. Would it be fair to buy a soda?
Sure. Yeah.
On the way.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, buying a soda is fair. Stopping for toilet breaks at random points.
Yep. Absolutely.
Desperately.
Yeah.
Probably.
But it's also if you got a flat tire, being able to change the tire yourself.
I have to make sure I carry that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
spares.
gear has to. I really have to plan the gear so I don't fuck that up.
If you're borrowing my bike, then my bike has a little bag with spare tires in it. So
yeah. Okay. And I have tried changing a tire before on a bike.
Nice.
So yeah. And then on the run, how many stations are there? Is it 4 stations?
There's a lot. Because it's loops. So every kind of 3 kilometers, there's an aid station already. Actually.
Okay.
So it's quite.
So it's almost unlimited on the run. How many times you can sort of grab a glass of Gatorade waiting for you?
For sure. And usually my strategy actually is just run to the aid station.
Yeah.
And then walk it, take a drink, an orange slice or whatever they've got.
Yeah. So my sister following me is technically no problem.
No.
But if she carries any of my fluids or food and give it to me, then it's sort of like a cheat.
I guess it depends what she's carrying.
Well, I like the idea of between points, sort of just carrying it myself. I think I'm gonna give her my phone so she can call and order pizza.
Love that.
10 minutes before we arrive at my place.
Awesome.
And film me, maybe
Heroically running down the street.
Yeah, maybe she can film me and I can do my best horrible version of David Goggins recently. Did you see he ran 200, I don't know if it was miles or kilometers,
Okay, wow.
but he hadn't done
Really?
an ultra for 5 years. Then he came back for a pretty crazy race of a 200 something.
Wow.
I think it was miles.
So.
It was miles, but I just love. He had a guy who was pacing him, who was filming him from the side. That'll be my sister. Anyway, but one of the things he said, people pissing me off, like saying, "See David Goggins, see his knees, see how he runs." Like, because he kind of runs a little bit looking like an old man in a way. He sort of has a weird running style. And then he said, like, "See how I run 200 miles, motherfucker." What did you do the last 65 hours?
Yeah.
I know what I did. I've been running up and down these mountains. Like, it was so epic. I was like, yeah.
He's hardcore. He's
He has some pretty good lines. That was funny. Anyway, so sister is camera support.
Yeah.
and
sure.
and pizza orderer.
Yeah. Important.
Or whatever.
I always have pizza after the race. It's perfect.
You do?
That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Then, some weird person said like, "Oh no, pizza! Like that would be horrible after you'll."
God,
and
no.
I was like, I really couldn't imagine it would be horrible.
Yeah, absolutely not. Like,
Like
the
normally.
cheesiest, like the greasiest, like give it to me. I want it.
Yeah, I get a crazy appetite. Especially, I think it's connected to that desperation. Like, not as I'm still running, it's not there, but when the desperation lets go and I feel like I'm back and I'm safe.
Yeah.
Like 1 second and I'm like, where's the kitchen?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
give me some water, give me
sure.
some salty, fatty stuff. Like, yeah.
But it's also, I
Just
mean, it
get
depends
ravenous.
on the time of day, right? So for me, it was 14 hours it took to do the full distance. You know, it's dark, it's nighttime.
In the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's not summer. Here,
Yeah.
well, in September it'll still be good, but yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to, why I want to start at 6.
Okay.
Because if I start at 6, there's more of a chance if I arrive back at 8 or 9 doing like a 14, 15 hour time.
Yeah.
Then my friends, or at least maybe wife and sister, will want to have pizza with me
Yeah. For sure. Somebody should do it.
before I crawl into the bath.
Yeah, just.
Or I'll
yeah.
probably crawl into the bath first and then crawl in to the table with pizza on it.
Yeah.
That'll be my day. I think,
Awesome.
yeah.
Wow. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm too. I'll definitely call you on the run. No.
Yeah. Let me know where the finish line is. I can come and bring the support
If
crew.
you want to run with me part of the way, I was thinking of like, I have to find a way to do like a GPS tracker. Just invite those who want to run, because you can just take a train up to wherever I am and then follow. You know,
yeah.
the whatever distance. That would be funny.
Nice.
But until now, it's just me and my sister.
Yeah.
Tobias said he might join, but yeah.
Awesome, man. Cool.
So that's the project. And what's your next project? Do you have one?
I've been a little bit curious about these high rocks competitions that
yeah.
have kind of got a bit more popular
I've
these
been
these
seeing
days.
a lot of that these days.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to try it too. I haven't fully understood the workout, so that'll be a separate podcast.
Yeah,
But
nice.
it's run and fitness.
Yeah,
And
basically.
it's sort of the new
yeah.
CrossFit, right?
Yeah, it's like 8 CrossFit
Event.
moves, events, things, and then you have like a run in between each.
Well, let me know which one you do. I'll join you.
Nice.
Yeah,
I mean, it'll be
try it.
Copenhagen next year, so probably I can't remember what time of year they usually do it, but it's
Okay.
always here every year. So
Right, there's a year every year.
yeah, yeah, an event every year.
An event every year.
Yeah,
Great.
and I might also every year I've done the half distance Ironman, so I probably will also continue with that.
Okay, is that in the spring?
Yeah, June.
Okay, June.
So right at the start of the summer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have done that, but I missed it.
It also sells out really fast, these events, but I'm definitely somebody that's motivated by having something like booked.
Yeah, having that event.
Yeah, otherwise I'll just.
Yeah,
No.
yeah, that's a good recommendation out there. Some of you know who you are, but like, buy a ticket to that trail run, Finja. Oh yeah, buying that ticket is a big step, right?
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, it's real,
Yeah.
and you don't want to waste your money either. So yeah, a lot
for
of things
sure.
start happening then.
Yes. There was also going back to like Rich Roll, you know, he talks a lot about these people that have like analysis paralysis, you know, what kind of shoes are you going to get? You know, how fancy does the sports watch needs to be? You know, getting into the minutiae detail of the bikes and, you know, being super aerodynamic. It's just go and start. Just go a little run, even barefoot. You know, you don't need fancy shoes. Just get started, and then that's always the easiest.
Get started, yeah. Find a mildly anxiety-provoking event.
Yes.
Just click buy.
Yep.
Just click buy, honey, and then start training a little bit. Yeah. And regarding that, maybe it's a bad way to finish, but I have to say it still. That's one of my critical points. And going a bit counter to what you said before about community in Ironman or triathlon. I love that, you know, as a young, white, able-bodied man, I am, that you found that there was a big diversity of people. But this Sunday, when I was sitting on a bench eating ice cream and looking at the people driving by, and we had seen some of the early finishers on the bike, so they were obviously super serious. Looked very expensive. Yeah. Later on, I was happy to see like a normal helmet and also like a normal race bike, not like these fancy carbon.
Yes.
So anyway, a critical point here to finish. It's very individualistic, celebrates the individual. I mean, I think I like that because I love celebrating my own achievements that I've done myself without help, although obviously there's so many factors besides myself and my willpower. But one thing that annoys me about triathlon, and which is also a little bit of a statement about what I want to do, both barefoot, but that's not even a big thing, like, you know, shoes cost, you know, 100 euros or something, or maybe a bit more, but the gear for triathlon and who does triathlon, I have a little bit of a sense that, well, probably they're white. I don't think I saw any, black or brown people out there that day. I saw women and I saw different body types, but I mainly saw like definitely white people. And then I was talking with somebody on the cafe. We were sitting eating ice cream, and I asked him, what do you reckon these guys are, what's the total amount of gear cost for the Ironman event? And my own guess was like, I was mainly thinking about the carbon bikes. Yeah. So then I was like, you're probably $250,000 driving around for this, not even with the ticket price, which is also up there, but like, so then that makes it for very few people.
Yeah.
But then later I saw like more regular bikes, regular helmets. I don't know what these helmets cost, but like a tri-suit can easily cost $6,000.
It's an expensive sport, sadly.
Yeah.
You need a...
In that way, it's very exclusive. And then my wife's reaction was like, fuck them. Why should we close down the city for all these rich people? Like, let's close down the city for all the random people who run Copenhagen Marathon, because that's, also an event where you could say a lot of people get into that. Yeah. And it's maybe less money exclusive.
Yes. Yeah.
And I want to do it on my own bike. Maybe I can borrow yours, but like the idea of like doing it on my own bike and not buying extra, that was sort of like my philosophy in a way.
Yeah.
And even a running watch, like I got rid of. I had one like 2 years ago, sold it when it sort of malfunctioned, and I got a new one that was even better. And I looked on the internet what it cost, and then it was $7,000. And then I was like, oh Jesus, this watch, a $7,000 watch. I was like, I want the money, not the watch. And then I sold it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And since then I've been training without a watch at all. And the last couple of months, just in the summer, I turned on Strava. So.
Yeah. Nice. I mean, I definitely say you don't need it. I liked the numbers. All my training was kind of like heart rate based. These kind of
you did, yeah.
different zones and
I'm like mileage, only mileage. Yeah. I look at the pace sometimes, but I just have like a crappy slow pace of 6, 7, or 8 minutes a kilometer.
That's fine. Yeah, that's what you need for this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's true. Totally. But so you're heart rate based. But what do you think if you don't? Not to put you in the to call out too much your privilege in any way, and I have a lot of privilege too. Like I bought my bike is 20,000, for example, 22,000 my gravel bike. Yeah. But like, what do you think you've invested in the sport? Like, not ticket prices like that.
Yeah, I mean, that also is
just the gear. I also bought. I'll go first. I bought the cheapest tri-suit I could. Yeah. Or that was there. It was 1,800. Yeah. But they had like the next one was 2.5, then 3. Then he showed me one that was 6.
Yeah.
And I heard the wetsuits were the starting from 3.5.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's your gear? Sorry.
Yeah, so my bike was the most expensive. It was like 15,000.
Oh, but that's
that
cheaper
one.
than
So
mine.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's not one of these, super fancy. It's like a Cannondale normal road bike.
Okay, yeah.
So I have like optional these tri bars that you can stick on the front. That,
Yeah.
Otherwise, and the cleats, the shoes that you can clip into were like another couple of hundred on top of that. So that was the most expensive outlay for me. My tri suit, it was like 3,000, something like that. I can't remember what the weight.
And we're talking Danish crowns.
Oh yeah, sorry, Danish
But
crown.
that's okay. Well, you're still under 20k. That's still not a lot. So that actually puts me in the privileged position of having.
Here.
Jesus God.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Like when we're talking, that is a lot of money still. But like my philosophy, definitely since buying a bike from Omnium that was like a titanium frame and the quality, like I definitely recommend people to invest in a good bike.
Yeah.
Every time I've done that, I have enjoyed my life more. But it's also a bike I use, for not only huge events.
Yeah.
I use it for every day as well. But
That's better use then. I have like my commuting bike that's just kind of for training and racing.
Yeah.
Like this.
okay, yeah, yeah. For me, to the extent that it feels like you only buy it for the triathlon, then it's like super inhibitive. Like not a lot of people are gonna, on a hobby basis, just buy 15,000 bike just for that. But
for sure.
But that was lower than I expected because I saw pictures of you on Instagram and I was like thinking the same thing. Not that I thought like, oh, how much money did he spend? But you sort of look fancy in the tri-suit and with the bike and the helmet. I don't know,
Yeah. It looks fancier than it is, possibly then.
Yeah.
But people really, I have like my dream bike. It's one of these Canyon, aero spaceship kind of thing. Looks super fancy. Have all this inbuilt nutrition stands and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
Really,
yeah.
Would love it, but I can't justify it to myself spending that amount on it.
What have you looked at? Like,
I mean, you could easily be like 30, 40, 50 grand on one of these things.
Yeah, 15k sounds like cheaper than the guy down in the shop I was in Endurance Sport on Gamle Kongelej. He, I don't know. I don't know if he could imagine doing an Ironman on a 15k bike. Anyway, he seemed very experienced, and he sells top tier gear though.
For sure. It's also, I mean, in a sense, it's like a little bit kind of diminishing returns. I'm not at this kind of super competitive level, so the gains that you would get by spending all this money on, the most aerodynamic bike, is going to be lost on me.
Yeah, and there's a point for me. It's like there's many different values here. It's not to be it is to be political to talk about the money side of things, but then it's also almost aesthetical. Or there's this thing about grit, like how tough are you? And I feel like if you, like there's something about triathlon and all the gear where I can kind of think, it's sort of, really works for, especially just stereotypically these men who want to talk about gear all the time and invest the money and and you can, and it's sort of, there's something very comforting about this whole thing with the gear and preparing yourself and trying to control everything. Definitely. Where I feel like part of what I love about endurance is that mental toughness. And I feel you're going to be way tougher mentally doing a shorter, long bike ride on a crappy bike.
Yes.
Like that crappy bike will drive you insane to continue and it make you desperate in a way that a bike that you can rely on will not. Totally. You know what I mean? Like,
totally.
And I think there's something interesting there that if you tip over and like really going for the gear and optimizing, sure, it's competition. Like, but on the other hand, I feel like, it's not like you're cooler in a way. It's more like you're just getting to be sort of a pro maybe. But but it's not. I don't think like stronger the more expensive the gear get. I get more like. Sure. Do it on a kind of normal bike or, and instead of this spaceship vibe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also, the more complicated the bike, the more things can go wrong with it as well. Many times in the race, the gears have disconnected from the these inbuilt tri bars or the brakes. The technical issues are magnified. Whereas if you have a very trusty, old, reliable bike, that has been through the wars, trust that. It's going to work.
It would sort of be the ultimate here would be like touring bikes, where all the parts are outside parts, visible, easy to understand. You can repair that shit. That's easily. Sort of like the bike version of a tank.
Yeah.
Very reliable tank.
Yes, exactly.
Or an old car where you can fix it, or I don't know. And not all these electrical things.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, so well, cheers for on the scale of things, a low-tech triathlon experience. And
exciting times.
I think we're going to round it up, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have anything more? Or I think it was a fun talk about
super
triathlon
nice,
dreams and
absolutely.
Histories.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it in. I hope anybody listening to this has taken something. Let us know. Let Andy know. Let me know. We want to hear, and hopefully it will inspire somebody to take action, or when they do take action, take better action. And and build those qualities that you want to build if you want to overcome that fear, or get tougher, or mentally speaking, or just get into an exercise habit. So thanks for listening, and thank you, Andy.
Thank you, man. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Cheers to the first podcast.
Yeah.
I think it went so well.
It was good fun.
We'll see on the internet how it goes down.
Viral, I promise.
Viral.
Nice one.
Oh man, cool. See you out there.